Welcome once again to MPRS Shipping and Logistics presents Global Freight Forum, powered by Win Asia Maritime in association with Dakshin Bharat Gateway Terminal, co-presented by Indian Oil Corporation, hosted by VOC Port Authority and organized by India Seatrade and FIEO. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, let us move on to the inaugural session of the day. I would like to welcome the following dignitaries on stage to be part of the inaugural session. First, Mr. K. Mohandas, IAS, retired, former Secretary to the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Chairman of India Seatrade. On stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him. Mr. K. Mohandas is an IAS officer of 1974 batch of Kerala Cadre. His major postings include Secretary to Government of India, Ministry of Shipping and Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs, Additional Secretary Revenue, Ministry of Finance, and Principal Secretary to Government of Kerala for Industries, Education, Collector of Kottayam District, Kerala, and several other departments. A warm welcome to you, sir. May I now invite on stage Mr. D.R. Kodeeswaran, President, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tuticorin. He is Director of VVD & Sons Private Limited and VVD Shipping Services. He is also a member of Tuticorin Airport Advisory Committee, Board Member of Kamraj College of Engineering, EC Member of VVD Memorial Higher Secondary School. He is also ex-member of VOC Port Authority. It's an absolute pleasure to have Mr. D.R. Kodeeswaran with us. Welcome, sir. Let's invite our next guest on stage, Mr. S. Sankar Marimuthu, President, All India Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He is a proud entrepreneur, visionary leader, and an individual deeply rooted in the values of perseverance and dedication. His journey began in Tamil Nadu, where he was born into a family with a strong legacy of business and community service. Back in 1997, he completed his bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. His passion for leadership and business development drove him to pursue an MBA, which he completed in 1998 from the University of Wales, UK. Mr. S. Sankar Marimuthu for us. Welcome, sir. Moving on to our next guest for the day, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, President, Custom Broker and Shipping Agents Association, Coimbatore. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Rajesh Kumar R., who is a distinguished entrepreneur and a thought leader in the logistics industry. He's known for his pioneering initiatives and transformative impact. His career journey began with the establishment of Global Shipping Services. Today, he is a name synonymous with excellence and vision in logistics, with multiple ventures achieving sustained growth and industry-wide recognition. He got his honorary doctorate for logistics studies from a French university in 2018. Dr. Rajesh Kumar R. on the Global Freight Forum. Welcome, sir. Let's invite our next guest on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Ms. Iswarya Sankaralingam, Managing Committee Member, FIEO. May I request her on stage? Ms. Iswarya Sankaralingam is the Director of PSS Krishnamurthy Exports, a distinguished fifth-generation family enterprise with the unique distinction of being led by an all-women board of directors. Ms. Iswarya brings a global academic perspective, having pursued her engineering in Japan, master's in the United States. She's currently serving as a managing committee member of FIEO, contributing actively to India's export development initiatives. Let's welcome the lady on stage, Ms. Iswarya Sankaralingam. Welcome, ma'am. And now I'd like to take this opportunity to invite on stage Mr. Vikas Nair, IRS Commissioner, Tuticorin Customs. Mr. Nair belongs to Indian Revenue Services, Customs and Central Excise 2005 batch. He's worked in various capacities in customs at airports and ports and in goods and service tax in Mumbai from 2007 to 15, Coimbatore from 2015 to 22, Trichy from 22 to 23, and Tuticorin from 23 till date. His current profiles are customs, protection of Indian borders, air and coast from smuggling of prohibited items like drugs, gold, fake Indian currency notes, wildlife, arms, etc., and GST, collection of appropriate goods and service tax on behalf of Government of India. Let's give him a loud round of applause as he joins our panel today. And now, Let's hear a loud round of applause for our chief guest for the day, Mr. Susanta Kumar Purohit, IRSEE Chairperson, VOC Port Authority. An officer of Indian Railway Services of Electrical Engineers of 1996 batch. He has exposure of working as Joint Secretary in Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India, Special Secretary in Housing and Urban Development Department, Government of Odisha, and senior management positions in Indian Railways. An electrical engineer with postgraduate diploma in Human Resource Management and Industrial Relations. He has exposure of management training of IRSEE Singapore, ICLIF Malaysia, and seminars and workshops in India and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together once again to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Susanta Kumar Purohit, to the Global Freight Forum 2025. Welcome, sir. And now let's move on to the inaugural session. I'd like to invite Mr. K. Mohandas to come forward for the welcome address.
Good afternoon, my dear friends on the dais and my friends here in the audience in the hall. It's great to have all of you here, and I'm personally very happy to be back in Tuticorin after a fairly long gap of 12 or 13 years, because my last visit was in my official capacity as Shipping Secretary in the Government of India. It's great to be back here as a private citizen, and I'm grateful to India Seatrade for providing me this opportunity to be back here and meet some of the faces which I had seen long back. Tuticorin, of course, is a very, very special place. And today, actually, India Seatrade has been holding different programs in different places, but this program has a different focus, because normally the discussions are on policies, procedures, and maybe nationwide issues of nationwide importance and relevance. But this time, I think the focus is on Tuticorin itself, which Tuticorin, and particularly the leading infrastructure of Tuticorin, namely the Tuticorin port, which I think is a very, very pragmatic innovation that has been made. Tuticorin, of course, it has a great history as far as the maritime sector is concerned. More than 100 years back, the great man, the Kappalotiya Tamilan, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, he made history by getting into the shipping industry and getting harassed by the British masters for looking at the freedom struggle, not only as a sort of political battle, but also as an economic front also was being opened. So that way, what was political was kept on one side, but then he thought freedom should be economic freedom as well, and that was his greatness. And the person, of course, I'm sure all of you here know the history, but the person had to suffer a lot, spend a lot of time in jail. He had to, he was stripped of his right to practice law and actually died in miserable circumstances. But then that was the heroic way in which Tuticorin responded to the colonial masters of those days. And the place has never looked back in business. As far as business innovations are concerned, it has been a great place. Driving into Tuticorin yesterday evening, of course, the signboard I noticed was "Welcome to Tuticorin Smart City." Obviously, it's great to get into a smart city, and smart, of course, is an ongoing process. Not that it has emerged as a totally 100% smart city, but I'm sure that is part of a process of conversion into smartness. And Thoothukudi port also is similarly a smart port. I was reading an interview given by the port chairman in one of the maritime magazines in which he was outlining the measures being taken to make the port a smart entity. And I've also been reading about the various developments that have been taking place here. So with all that, there is a lot of relevance in discussing the potential of Thoothukudi port for contributing to the to trade. And trade, it's of national importance, but it's also of international, global importance. So Thoothukudi is a major player as far as global trade is concerned. Now, I was speaking about the smart port. And what is a smart port? I mean, I'm again, to this audience, I don't have to explain what a smart port is. It is the adoption of technological initiatives which can make a port smart. But then the key element in this is that while the port may do it, the port can adopt whatever technology suits it. It will become smart only if all the other players also get integrated into that smartness. Which means that all the others should also become smart and integrate the smartness with the smartness of the port, so that the benefit of the conversion from a mundane port to a smart port accrues to society. So for that, this is an exercise in which the terminal operators are involved, should be involved. Government agencies should be involved, whether it is customs or immigration or whoever it is, they should be involved. The infrastructure, the railways and all, they should be part of it. And most important of all, the users of the port, the players in the logistics sector, the industry, generally the suppliers of goods and all those people. So it has to be a totality of the work of all these people, all the agencies involved, which would ensure that there is smartness in the logistics sector. Because supply chains have, of course, changed a lot in the recent past, and these changes are visible. Visible means that if you are adopting a technology, like, say, the Internet of Things, suppose each container is a smart entity, its location can be known, its temperature can be known, the level of humidity, if everything can be known, it should be possible for the owners of the goods to know what is happening. There have been unfortunate incidents that have taken place on the West Coast recently. At least, 2 ships had very serious problems in the Arabian Sea very recently. But how or why did the containers in MV 1-503 catch fire spontaneously? I don't know. I mean, nobody has come out with any reason or explanation for that, the accidental fire that came on that ship. It could have been one container or multiple containers, we don't know. But then, I don't know if we fully utilize the benefits of technology, I'm sure warnings would have come out. And there, of course, I mean, you can't rule out accidents. Even with the best of care, the equipments can definitely, go wrong, malfunction, and great accidents can take place. But then there is also the possibility to introduce appropriate technology to ensure that you prepare to be warned against calamities. So this is definitely a possibility. So I think the key message that we would probably be discussing today, and which we would be probably wanting to communicate with everybody, is that the movement into smartness has to be a simultaneous collective movement by everybody involved. The challenges are very huge. I'm not saying that there are no challenges, because if you look at the challenges, physical challenges, yes, the geopolitical issues in the Middle East, the way some of the war is taking place between Iran and Israel right now, and even the lack of peace which has been there for several years. These are definitely a matter of concern, and it is physically affecting the trade in that area. Then you have the impact on trade by this unpredictability on tariffs, the tariff war which one person, the President of the United States, has been able to create. That again leads to uncertainties in this thing. And then the costs. I mean, when I said you adopt technology, it's easier said than done, because, but when I say that, there is definitely a cost associated with the introduction or adoption of technology. There is capital expenditure. And similarly about green initiatives. We want green initiatives, we want sustainability, but all this has a cost. So with all these challenges, the appropriate method of introduction of all these things will have to be worked out by whoever is concerned. Let me not take too much of time, because we started slightly late. Let me repeat, at the cost of repetition, let me say that it's a great feeling to be back here, and I'm sure many of you would be coming to Tuticorin for on one of your rare visits. I would like to welcome everybody to this event, and I hope that very, very useful suggestions come out of the discussions here, and that we should be able to arrive at conclusions which will help the authorities and everybody else to move forward effectively. Welcome again, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the keynote address of the day, and to deliver the keynote address, I'd like to welcome Ms. Iswarya Sankaralingam, Managing Committee Member, FIEO. Welcome, ma'am.
A very warm welcome and good evening. Respected K. Mohandas IAS, sir, Shri Susanta Kumar Purohit, Chairman of IRSEE Port, Vivek Nair, sir, IRS Commissioner of Customs, Shri D.R. Kodeeswaran, President of Indian Chamber of Commerce, Tuticorin, Shri S. Sankar Marimuthu, President of All India Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Tuticorin, other dignitaries on dais, member exporters, logistics fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome and good afternoon. Not too long ago, I was a young girl, growing up in this community, right? Like, I know a lot of you personally who have addressed as uncle. Till date, I do that. So it is a great honor and privilege for me to be here addressing this gathering, and for giving me this opportunity to give back to this community and encourage young talent. So thank you so much. I'm here today to share my experiences as an exporter and my perspective. But before that, I'll be sharing few data points and policy notes that could potentially help set the tone for today's discussion. India's export sector achieved a significant milestone in the year 2024-25 with the merchandise exports, reaching 437.4 billion USD, with non-petroleum goods exports hitting a record 374.1 billion USD, that is up 6% from the previous year. And we are aiming at an export of 525 to 535 billion USD, which is a growth of 12%. And with India having a target of 2 trillion exports by 2030. For achieving this, all the stakeholders need to align and agile towards these uncertainties. The global trade landscape in 2025 is increasingly characterized by a resurgence of protectionist policies, like Sir just mentioned, and marking a significant shift from the liberalization trends of previous decades. This protectionism manifests through heightened tariffs, non-tariff barriers, and strategic trade measures impacting global commerce and economic stability. For example, there's been about 4,650 number of import restrictions among the G20 economies, which is about 75% up since 2016. We are now witnessing US escalating trade measures by increasing the effective tariff rates, which are the highest in over a century. EU is focusing on NTMs based on environment and sustainability to put pressure on MSMEs. While some of these NTMs serve legitimate purposes, many are turning into non-tariff barriers when used to discriminate or create distinguished protectionism. One example is that of the European Committee for Standardization, who released a major update to the PFAS, testing standards for textiles. And if you're into manufacturing and textiles, supporting to the EU, this update could significantly impact your compliance strategy, as the test is for tracing hidden chemicals which were earlier not traceable. 3 of the most prominent EU regulations illustrating this shift are the EUDR, EU's Deforestation Regulation, CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, ESPR, Eco-Design Sustainable Product Regulation, and the Digital Product Passport, the DPP. The ESPR framework is implemented through the Digital Product Passport, providing complete traceability of product throughout its life cycle. The DPP aims to judicially record, store, and share information about a product's entire life cycle, from raw materials to manufacturing, usage, transportation, recycling, and disposal, by needing to document and tracing, including carbon footprint. In this direction, logistics providers also need to work with exporters as the partners by digitalization of all operations. We need to ensure full supply chain traceability. To build upon this momentum in growth, export growth, and achieve sustained growth, important change we envision in diversification of export market, as India is in the process of signing FTAs with many traditional and non-traditional trading partners. We also want government agencies and logistics providers to invest in quality infrastructure, reducing logistic costs and ensuring compliance with international standards, especially related to environment, which will improve our competitiveness and marketability of the Indian exports, thereby exploiting our full potential to grow. Tuticorin port has long been very critical for India's southern exports, and with its all-weather operations, strategic location near the east-west international sea routes, and proximity to the industrial hubs of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, the port has served as a vital enabler for our export ecosystem. From marine products, garments, and agri-commodities to windmill components and machinery, Tuticorin port has supported a wide basket of exports, particularly for the MSME and traditional sectors. The port's nearness to major industrial clusters like Tirupur, Karur, Madurai, Sivakasi, and Coimbatore gives exporters a cost advantage in inland logistics. In recent years, port operations have become more streamlined with improved mechanization, e-documentation, and reduced vessel turnaround time. The port has made considerable strides in digital initiatives like the e-Sanchit, Torrent Customs, and faceless assessments, thereby reducing the dwell time and promoting ease of doing business. And I thank our Commissioner of Customs and his team for their support and facilitating the trade. While we acknowledge the progress made, certain challenges still need to be addressed. Our dependence on transshipment hubs like Colombo or Singapore, leading to increased cost and transit times. Direct sailing to more destinations, especially in Europe and Asia, is a key demand. I urge the port authorities to continue their efforts towards infrastructure expansion, including the proposed Outer Harbour project. We recommend more stakeholders' consultation, especially with exporting units, to align the port development with trade needs. To conclude, Tuticorin Port stands as a pillar of strength for our export community. With coordinated efforts between exporters and port authorities, government departments, I'm confident that Tuticorin can emerge as one of India's top performing ports, not just in terms of volume, but also efficiency, inclusiveness, and global connectivity. Let us all work together to make Tuticorin the preferred port for exporters, not just from the south, but across India. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to our special address of the day. And let's hear a loud round of applause as I invite Mr. D.R. Kodeeswaran, President, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tuticorin, for a special address.
A very good evening to one and all. Our distinguished chief guest of the day, our port chairman, Sri Susanta Kumar, Sri Mohandas IAS, Sri Vikas Nair IAS, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Iswarya Sankaralingam, dignitaries on and off the dais, port officials, all members of the chamber and other associations, members from the logistic and shipping fraternity, a very good evening to all. I represent the Indian Chamber of Commerce, a prestigious 100 years old chamber of Tuticorin, promoting the infrastructure development of this southern region of Tamil Nadu. As you all know, Tuticorin is an upcoming industrial hub, a power hub, and also an export hub. We would cordially welcome all the investors, startup organizations to set up industries in this region, as Tuticorin, as you all know, is a city of opportunity, and it's a happening town, and also the most preferred port in this region. And as you all know, this conclave, this forum, will bring together the key stakeholders from across the shipping and logistics ecosystem, including representatives from shipping and logistic companies, port authorities, and terminal operators, freight forwarders, custom brokers, policymakers, government agencies, exporters, importers, manufacturing clusters, and research institutions. The theme reflects the growing importance of innovation in revolutionization the shipping and logistic industry, enhancing transparency, speed, and efficiency in global supply chain. As you all know, India emerges as a major logistic hub through strategic investment in infrastructure and digitalization. And Tamil Nadu state is uniquely positioned to lead this transaction thanks to the strong port network, strategic location, and forward-looking policies. As you all know, in ancient times, India was called the Golden Bird because of its wealth and minerals and precious gems, early scientific achievements, and art and agriculture. Today, we may not have infrastructure. We need to regain this status. After all, Rome was not built in a day. The current global scenario has brought India at a juncture where it can forge ahead to become the world's next sort of manufacturing hub. India has retained its title of the world's fastest major economy as it expanded 8.4% in the last few years. India is forecasted to overtake Japan and other larger economy and become the world's third biggest economy in the next years to come. And next, I would just like to say about the logistics sector. Recently, data suggests that exports are on the rise. However, India's shares in global export is just still hard 3 to 5% only. This is a minimal given the size of the country. To increase India's share in global trade to 10% and share of exports in GDP to about 25%, the main reason for the export we would like to have it's because of the high logistic cost. Problem policymakers are making efforts to build world-class transport infrastructure. However, even as the building of hard infrastructure takes place, emphasis should be given to soft infrastructure as well as. Also, upgrading of infrastructure at ports should be taken up simultaneously as their last point for where goods are exported. The recently launched National Logistic Policy built the pathway of developing a resilient, inclusive, and sustainable logistic ecosystem in the country. As you all know, in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu should accord industry status to the logistics sector to encourage investments in the logistics sector in the state. According to the state, the proposal in pursuance of the recommendation of the Inter-Ministerial Committees of Industry 4.0 in manufacturing and strengthening of logistics in southern region. Consequent upon the grant of industrial status, all logistic and warehouse units established or to be established in the state will become eligible to avail benefits and incentives and other relevant schemes of the state government. The ICC members have also been inducted in the Logistic Council of the Tamil Nadu Logistic Policy. Next, I would like to highlight about the India economy. As you all know, the world's largest economy is USA with 30,507 trillion and China with 19,231 trillion, Germany with 4,744 trillion, and followed by India in the fourth status, 4,187. When seeing the journey of the largest economy, the USA from 2.6 trillion, it has taken to grow to 5 trillion in 9 years. Whereas China from 2.75 trillion to 5.11 trillion, it has taken 4 years. In India, we should appreciate in the year 2024, it was 2.61 trillion. Now it has grown to 4.87 trillion. Hats off to the minister. Next, I would like to highlight all about the Tuticorin. What is the strength of Tuticorin? I could see many of the outsiders here, investors. As you all know, Tuticorin, historically known as Tuticorin, a city with deep historic root and a power future vision. It has an emerging energy hub, export hub and industrial hub of southern Tamil Nadu with the major seaport of international standard. When seeing the VOC portress, I could say our chairman will be and other people will be highlighting about the port performance. I just like to share that it's one of the most vital industrial trade hub, and VOC port is well equipped to handle bulk cargo, container shipping and liquid imports. And it also serves industries across Tirupur, Erode, Karur and Bihan, facilitating global exports, especially garments. It's a major hub for cashew processing, timber imports and marine exports. And as you're seeing the industrial and infrastructure development, Tuticorin designation as a district in 1986 and renaming Tuticorin in 1977 marked the beginning of a modern industrial era. Tuticorin is now linked by major national highways NH38, NH138 and NH32. The Madurai division of Southern Railway passengers revenue is 587 crores and goods traffic revenue is 264.71 crores. As you see, the Tuticorin airport is undergoing a major expansion at rupees 380 crores, the runway being extended to 3,115 meters to accommodate A321 aircraft and handle 1,440 passengers per hour. And Tuticorin, ICCA has acclaimed the recognition of Town of Export Excellence for marine products export from the DGFT for Tuticorin. The emerging industries of Tuticorin includes salt, marine products, dried flowers, fertilizers, chemical industries, natural farm fibers, and herbal plant exports. As you all know, Tuticorin is poised to have become the green hydrogen hub and offshore energy hub recognized by the government of India. And we also request our Honorable Chairman to establish a business promotion council for promoting new investment in Tuticorin. Why a business promotion council? To promote a supportive ecosystem for potential investors, entrepreneurs, extend across to business opportunities and foster development in Tuticorin districts. This Council will highlight and strengthen the potential of establishing an industry in Tuticorin districts and assist in key issues entrepreneurs face in the current business climate, provide support in collaboration with the government agencies. Establishing a business facilitation council will serve as an effective platform for potential investors in establishing a direct communication with the members of the council and facilitating business companies with government regulations and to sustain a competitive regulatory environment for business in Tuticorin district. It will also support in thrashing out implementation issues, transparency, and promoting business formalities. This council should be formed early in order to promote growth and development of this region. Before I could conclude, I would like to highlight a saying from Haris Mariwala: India has to go for the big leap. There is no other option but to grow. If we do not grow, we face a demographic disaster. With such a large number of young people coming into the job market every year, if India has to remain united and peaceful, then there is no alternative but to grow fast. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kodeeswaran. We'll move on to our next speaker for the day. Moving on to our next special address. Please put your hands together to invite forward Dr. Rajesh Kumar, President, Custom Broker and Shipping Agents Association, Coimbatore. May I welcome you, sir?
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, it's a great pleasure for me for this wonderful opportunity given by Seatrade. And in fact, Seatrade is doing a great job to show what shipping industry is all about. And in fact, they're spreading such powerful messages to the trade that this is a trade which is really growing. And I should really appreciate Seatrade for doing so. And with regard to Tuticorin port, Coimbatore and Tuticorin are like brothers. We've been so closely associated for so many years. And for us, now the infrastructure is really growing. It has done a very good job. In fact, it took almost only 4.5 hours for me from Coimbatore to Tuticorin by drive. And the roads are beautiful. Infrastructure is really picking up. And I think this gives a lot of positive trend of people getting into Tuticorin on a faster manner in means of cargo. And we could see a lot of developments all around with VinFast coming in and a lot of IT parks and a lot of terminals coming in, and the works going out here is so good that we definitely expect much better cargo output into Tuticorin from Coimbatore. When we talk about Coimbatore, Coimbatore is a place which grows on its own, and the people there has got an urge to grow and do business in a much better manner. As Coimbatore and Tirupur, we have at least a cargo worth maybe 80,000-90,000 crores or more of worth of exports happening every year, and it is growing very, very steady. And now we expect a lot of export of IT products also, because a lot of IT parks and a lot of companies coming in, and we could see that a lot of multinationals investing in Coimbatore. So I'm sure that Coimbatore will have a huge development with respect of what the challenges are is that we need a lot of infrastructure development to be done. Well, since we are in the hinterland and we are close to 190 kilometers from Cochin and 345 kilometers from Tuticorin, we had 3 ICDs in Coimbatore, and again we had 2 ICDs in Tirupur too. Just because of the proximity of the ports, the ICDs are getting closed one by one. We feel that that is one place where we as a trade should really put forward the thoughts and see how we can break this barrier and bring those huge investments of ICDs which is in the hinterland in Coimbatore to be developed. What is happening is that we also tried positioning a lot of MTs in Coimbatore many times, but it didn't work. In fact, Concur took a lot of steps of moving 100 boxes of many lines to Coimbatore, kept it there, but it was not happening just because of the proximity. Now it is high time that we all should come up and find a via media of keeping the boxes, empty boxes in Coimbatore, because a lot of imports coming in, and maybe if it can be placed, and what this big company should do is like we should try and allocate some trailers in Coimbatore, because that is one shortage, because what the biggest failure, what happened is whenever they moved the empty containers, kept it in Coimbatore, there is no trailer operators basically from Coimbatore. So what happens is like, even we give a booking to the local companies, the empty trailer has to come from Tuticorin or Cochin, take the empty containers and go back for the stuffing and get it done. So that is one big cost which is happening. So in fact, I think the port authorities or the terminal operators should find a way out to make a useful via media so that the containers are placed in Coimbatore, some trucking companies in Coimbatore to be placed, wherein the boxes can be pulled out when and where required. The empties, a lot of imports are coming in that can be put down in Coimbatore. We can have a facility there where that can be inspected and taken it back. The next thing is that the major cost is the charges of retainership for all these authorities, which is becoming a bigger cost for these ICDs and CFS in Coimbatore. So this cost recovery has to be, I think at least for some time until this trade grows, I think we should have some via media for this cost recovery. Because of this cost recovery, it is not viable for any of these ICDs which has got small volumes, maybe 200, 300, 500 containers. They are not able to sustain it. So because of this, most of the companies are closing down, most of the CFS are closing down. Coimbatore, now we have only Concur, balance 2 ICDs have closed. As I said, Tirupur, 2 ICDs have closed. Only one of Kerry in Dev is there. So this is a high time which we all should think and see that how we can rescue this, because each CFS are investing so much of money and it's sad to see that they go out of business. That's the saddest part. For this, I think, as Sri Kodeeswaran sir was saying, like, if we get an industry status, that is where which we are missing. Once we can get some industry status, I'm sure the banking or all the investment companies looks at in a different manner. Because we as an Indian logistics company, we need a lot of investments which none of the banks supports, because we are not an industry, we are not an authorized industry which is happening. That is one big lacuna which is happening, and I think this has to be addressed. In fact, we are also addressing it in a very big way, which I think any day it should come through. Some small points which I need to take it up is that in Coimbatore, we have this ICD and we have this EGM and IGM, which is always an issue. Last time when we had a meeting, I think Mr. Daniel Raja was giving us some suggestions and advice how we can cut off this issue, but still we are not able to get through it, because basically what happens is the console, we move it by lorry from Coimbatore and it is stuffed in the port. So the Concur manifests the lorry number and the port, the liner manifests the container number, and this is a big issue which most of the shippers are not getting their GST or drawback or refund, and this is a very big issue which we have been addressing for a very long time. Apart from that, there is few suggestions from our from our friends, that there are a lot of second-hand machineries which is coming into the port. This is because of that the importer, the manufacturer here are not able to buy or afford a new machinery. They are bringing all the second-hand machineries with a chartered certificate from the port of loading. But here what happens is, like, the officers are not willing to accept this charter certificate which has been from the port of loading. And in fact, to facilitate this, CBIC has issued a circular also. It's on the 2020. They have issued a circular also, but still the department is not taking it up. And this becomes a big issue wherein we have to pay the shipper, the importer or the shipper has to pay a lot of detention demurrage, wherein the main purpose is getting defeated in terms of the big charges which is coming into the shipping line. Next is the rail connectivity. Rail connectivity to Tuticorin is not there. At least Cochin it is there, but still we are not able to use it properly. If Tuticorin connection, rail connection is there, I think that will also be a better use for the trade. The next thing is to the port is that the vessels, they say that it will come on the 10th, but it comes on the 25th. And the cost of detention and demurrage is a very big issue, and we always fight between the terminal with the line, and ultimately it comes to us as a forwarder or a CHA, or some shippers, of course, they're with heavy heart, they pay us. And this is one big issue. I don't know how to address this, because recently one vessel was supposed to come on the 10th. It is coming on the 27th. So 17 days. If it is a 50 containers, God knows where it's going to end. So this is one issue which we need to take it up. And somebody has to come with some solution so that we at least don't suffer. So that is one. And one more thing to the GST officers is that we are sending a lot of trailers loaded with cargo coming into the port. And on way, it's not that we are blaming. There is an issue from the shippers also, but small errors. They try to find small errors and they penalize in such a big manner, which at least, we should find out whether it is really done or it is a small error. And we should have some control on that, which will be very useful, because nowadays we are getting almost every day, a lot of issues are coming up, and this is one thing which we need to take it up. And next thing is that this RFID self-sealing permission, which we wish that if you take for one port, I think this should be considered as for every port. But here we have to take a permission from each port, which is a Herculean task. And I think if this one issue can be addressed, it will be great. And Coimbatore, we expect, as I said, there's a lot of growth happening, and there is one large logistics park coming up too. A lot of infrastructure development is there, and I'm sure Tuticorin port will definitely get benefit with the growth of Coimbatore. And Coimbatore is growing, will grow, and it is growing in a huge manner. And I think this will be a very good part, that Coimbatore will have more businesses, because in at least a year, we have seen at least around 50-70 multinationals coming into Coimbatore, doing huge industries. And I think Coimbatore has got a huge potential, and it will grow more. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh Kumar. I now take this opportunity to invite Mr. S. Sankar Marimuthu, President, All India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for a special address. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause for him, please.
Elorukum vanakkam. It's truly a great honor to be standing here today among the audience, both on and off the dais, that represents the engine room of Indian maritime and trade ecosystem. At this moment, I represent here from one of the profound Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Tuticorin, and as someone who has spent over many decades exporting and importing through VOC port. Today evening, from this Global Freight Forum 2025, we are here to witness and understand not just the logistical mechanics of our port, but the human and institutional collaboration that drives it forward. For the same reason, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Susanta Kumar Purohit, and all other dignitaries who are present here to share their views for the upliftment of our VOC port. Today, I want to talk to you not about numbers, but about partnerships. Yes, I would leave the number games to the experts from the department, and I would like to talk more about the partnerships, about the stakeholders and the port. I wanted to present about how collaboration among port stakeholders, when done right, can transform a functional port into a powerful, sustainable trade hub, and how this very collaboration can help us realize the vision of making VOC port not just an effective port, but a green port, a model for India and beyond. VOC port for most of us here is just not location. It's a gateway for many of us who work in trade and logistics. A port is more than just infrastructure. For most of the companies representing here, it is a starting point, a nerve center, a gateway to global opportunities. VOC port holds a unique place in southern India's economic landscape. It links manufacturers, exporters, importers, farmers, artisans from the hinterland to the world. And a port alone cannot ensure timely delivery, reduced logistic cost, or customer satisfaction. And that happens only when a system supports the port. like customs, shipping line, road, rail connections, terminal operations, and trade bodies which work in harmony. And in my years of experience, I can say with confidence, VOC port evolving into that kind of port which visible momentum. If I take a moment to talk about the meaning of maximizing the utilization of port by the port user, to me it is not just how many vessels dock at the port or how many containers are moved. It's about how smoothly goods flow in and out, how predictable schedules are, how quickly cargo is cleared, how efficiently our authorities plan their day, how efficiently we use the resource to save cost, and how effectively we use the infrastructure available. In short, I would like to say that everyone is pulling in the same direction, and that alignment has made a visible difference in making this port a grand success. In this rapid changing world, the new buzzword is sustainability. Yes, that's the great frontier now. If efficiency is one part of the equation, sustainability is the other part. Today, global trade is no longer just about cost and delivery. Increasing, it's about carbon footprints, ethical sourcing, sustainable logistics. And for those who export to environmental conscious markets, this deeply matters. And VOC Port has already taken promising steps in this direction, I suppose. From energy efficient lighting to solar installation, from earlier steps to shore power to waste management systems. And I guess we can hear more from the authorities on this on a later note. But again, there isn't the port responsibilities, but as exporters, we also have an equal responsibility, and it's a shared responsibility to make this port a happening one. And this is where I believe VOC Port can lead not just as a major port, but as a green port, recognized for innovation in sustainability and stakeholder-driven environmental practices. As said Mr. Rajesh about Coimbatore, like I humbly propose a few areas where our collaboration can be deepened. I have 4 points to add on behalf of the Chamber. One is the faster custom turnaround. Although digitalization has helped, some of us still facing delays in manual interventions. We can also work towards paperless, intelligent-driven transactions, perhaps a joint working group between customs, CHAs, chamber like us, exporters can identify recurring areas, issues to co-design improvements and streamline them. And real-time infrastructure dashboards. A live dashboard showing gateway congestions, crane availability, vessel queue can empower stakeholders to plan proactively. Number 3 is hinterland connectivity, as already said by Mr. Rajesh. Like we have to have a connectivity to Madurai, Tirunelveli, Coimbatore, Sivakasi. And lastly, like for the green certification for port users, let us take this green port vision further. What if exporters, shipping line, and logistic firms are certified for eco-friendly practices at the port? That can be a good idea to promote sustainability. It could create a culture of pride and accountability, and moreover, sustainability shouldn't be a checkpoint, it should be a reputation builder. And with these simple points to ponder, I believe that vision is within reachable distance. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close my speech, let me say this. The success of port is measured not just in TEUs or tonnage, but in trust, coordination, and vision. In the case with which stakeholders can navigate systems, the confidence foreign buyers place in our infrastructure, and with pride we feel when we say we export through VOC Port. Let's continue to nourish the collaboration that brought us this far. Let's double down on green practices, not just for compliances, but because it is the right thing to do now. And let's make VOC Port a model, not just to India's port, but for ports worldwide, a hub of efficiency, partnership, and sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marimuthu, for those ambitious words. Hopefully, we should be able to turn around the Tuticorin port the way he sees it. Let's move on to our next speaker for the day, and it's time for the address by our guest of honor for today. Please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Vikas Nair, IRS Commissioner, Tuticorin Customs. Over to you, sir.
I thank FIEO and Indian Seatrade to organize this seminar, and I hope lots of constructive suggestions emerge from this conference of great minds. I have been witness to a period of great dynamism in this port. For the past 2 years, I've been here for 1.5 years, but I've seen so much of activity happening, so much of progress, and I can see the increased dynamism and creation of infrastructure and planning for the future, which will show the result in the upcoming years. And I heartily congratulate Susanta Purohit sir for taking initiatives in the green port field, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity of being able to support him in whatever small ways I can. The past 5 years have been a period of lot of tumultuous impact on global trade, whether it was COVID, whether it was Suez Canal issues, the attack by the Houthis, or even local factors, because our port is reliant on Colombo port for its trade, because whenever there was a problem in Colombo, we get affected by that. However, I feel that the upcoming period, even though there are great threats to international trade, as were illustrated by Ms. Iswarya, there are a lot of opportunities too. And the government is well aware of this, and you can see that we are actively trying to impact the effect of increased trade protectionism by proactively entering into FTAs with UK and the upcoming FTAs with Europe and US. There is no doubt that our exporters have to be nimble and adapt to the upcoming regulations and compliances. I'm sure they are up to the task. But as infrastructure and compliance enablers, it is our duty to provide them the platform from which they can build their dreams on. Tuticorin has an advantage of land, labor, and warehousing space, and its proximity to the port. I have been witness to a lot of industries coming to Tuticorin in the past 1 year, whether it's TP Solar, Windfast, and other industries. So I can see that there is a demand for this kind of space. So I feel that we should play on that, and there are a lot of scope, lot of areas where we can address, but we can build on our strengths. Customs has been at the forefront of adoption of technology, and we have been always trying to adapt computerization. We were almost the first people to adopt the customs declaration, which was computerized. Then we adopted RMS, which was a risk management system. Now we are working on adoption of AI tools for container scanning and integration of scanning images with the customs clearance software. I duly note the points raised by Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Marimuthu. Some of these are policy issues which I am not able to comment on, but I would like to take them up with my board. And I'm sure we can work on suggestions at local level can be taken up. If it can be solved at my level, I'm sure I'll do that. But which I cannot solve, I'll raise it up with my board. So I thank FIEO once again, and I hope I can contribute in whichever small way to the success of this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now we'll move on to the address that probably we've all been waiting for, among the others, the address by a chief guest for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Mr. Susanta Kumar Purohit, IRSEE Chairperson, VOC Port Authority, for the chief guest address. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause for him as he walks up to the podium.
Most respected Sri Mohandas sir, and the dignitaries on the dais, and the dignitaries of the dais, and the eminent personality from our maritime sectors, and of course, also those who are associated with the sectors. And at the outset, I am very grateful to India Seatrade and FIEO for organizing this event at Tuticorin. And definitely this event will go a long way in helping our port as well as the industry that we serve through the port. And today's this subject is Green Port, where does VOC ports stack up? So, of course, we have been hearing all about the port now, but you'll be happy to know that our port has become the first port to produce green hydrogen. And we have successfully completed a pilot plant, and we are producing 20 kg of green hydrogen, and that we have utilized the green hydrogen for lighting one street of our colony, and also we are charging the electric vehicles that we are using in the port. So there is a 1.5 minute video. I would like to show that to our esteemed gathering. Sasiraj, is the video is ready? Yes. Can you play this? Yeah. I think that is not coming at the front TV. So, three ports in India had been identified as the green hydrogen hub. Kandla port in the west, Paradip port in the east, and Tuticorin port in the south. And we are the first port to produce and test. We had been entrusted with the task of making a pilot plant, and we have become the first port to produce green hydrogen in the country. So this is a big achievement for us, and this is a pride for our Tuticorin port as well as the Tuticorin trade. So I will now like to go through a small presentation. As you know that our port, our Tuticorin area is blessed with a lot of advantages, a lot of strategic advantage because of its geographical location. So as you know that we are all-weather port, we are protected by Sri Lanka, and that's thereby we don't face any cyclone. So in the last cyclone, you might have seen that the port of Colombo, port of Cochin, port of Chennai were not working, they were closed, but we have been working. So we are a 24/7, 365 days port. And also, we are located on a rocky basin. As a result, once we do the capital dredging, then the maintenance dredging is not required. So other ports used to spend about 150 to 200 crores on maintenance dredging. So that cost we don't incur. So as a result, our cost of operation is one of the lowest. You'll be happy to know that our operating ratio is 29.85% last year. That means we spend only 29.85 paise to earn 1 rupee. That is one of the lowest among all major ports in the country. So there is a big locational advantage that we have in the country. Then we, as you know, that we have got excellent connectivity. We are the port which are handling 81.4 meter long windmill blades, and those windmill blades are coming all the way from Chennai and Bangalore. That itself proves that we are very much well connected into the hinterland. And this is only port where the entrance to the port is welcomed by wide roads, and you have a good drive if you are traveling from Chennai or from Madurai or from just now from Coimbatore. So it is a very good drive, and it is one of the very big advantage for the port. And we are served by Tuticorin airport, which is shortly becoming will be a major airport with I think the runway length becoming equal to or more than Chennai port. So it will become one of the very important and big airport. And is also said that it will be international airport. So two international airport separated by what only 1.5 hour distance is serving our port. So that is also a big strategic advantage. And as you know that our port offers very low turnaround time for the container vessels, and is one of the lowest and compete globally. And we are the future. We are the port of the future. We have the green hydrogen hub. We have the offshore windmill hub of the country, offshore energy hub of the country. So this is just a layout of our port. It is as we have got 2 container terminal and about 16 14 other berths. And this is a port which serves both container as well as bulk cargo. So that advantage we have that we handle multiple type of cargo. So there is also one big advantage for us. We are not only a container port like JNPT or Willingham, and we are a port which can handle any kind of trade requirement. So this is the vision that we have. This we are going to have this outer harbor. Of course, this outer harbor we have floated 2 times, but we could not get any takers. Despite the fact that this project was very, very lucrative. This project was located at a port having so many advantages, and despite this project was having a lot of sweeteners, like first 10 years no revenue share, from 11th year only 1% revenue share instead of 11%, then 45-year concession period, then minimum guarantee traffic, no minimum guarantee traffic up to 15 years. All those sweeteners were there for, despite that, we could not get any takers. So now we are immediately trying to restructure it, and we'll take all the feedbacks from the trade, and we are very hopeful, and that shortly, maybe within a month of 3 months or 4 months maximum, we'll be going to award this much prestigious project of our port. As you remember that last February, our Honorable Prime Minister had come and declared this project, and we are committed that this project starts soon, and also we will include the other ancillary requirement that our trade is asking, like can we raise the inner harbor to sufficiently lower, required depth, so that it can be utilized by the trade. And also we are going to have an offshore windmill hub, because our port has been declared as the offshore windmill energy hub of the country. And for that purpose, Government of India, through a cabinet note, has given us 300 crores. And we are putting 450 crores from our own internal resources. And with 750 crores, we'll be setting up this facility of offshore wind terminal. So that will handle the project cargo for the offshore wind hub that will come, such as the windmill blades and the alternators and the other project cargo of that one. And this offshore windmill hub terminal will come in another 2 years' time. And also we are creating one more berth number 10, that will facilitate more cargo by our port. This is a traffic snapshot of our port. Last year we handled 41.72 million tons. Of course, this was due to the fact that our capacity was compromised, because we compromised our capacity to create capacity. Like berth number 9, which was handling the bulk cargo, coal cargo, that we had to hand over for containerized cargo. And that cargo to handle, we had only a berth which was not very, which capacity was not adequate. So that was the reason for slight difficulty in the month of June and July last year. So there was a lot of congestion. But immediately our team worked, and we have deployed adequate capacity. At present, we have 7 HMCs and one more dipped draft berth, and CV3 has come. and the container terminal is working on full capacities. So we have now got adequate capacity, and at present you will be appreciate the fact that there is no, just-in-time arrival mostly we are giving, and there is no delay at the anchorage level. And you will see that our revenue for the first time crossed 1,000 crore in the year 23-24, and now we are at 1,200, and shortly we will be crossing 1,500 because with a lot of capacity addition, we are aiming a very ambitious target of touching 50 million tons soon. And as you see that our operating ratio, as I mentioned, it is only 29%, and the cost per ton is also quite low in comparison to the other ports of the country. So as I mentioned that VOC port has been declared as, of course, it is a repetition. It will become a transshipment hub once the outer harbour comes. And these are the projects, major infrastructure projects that we have commissioned or we are going to commission. So this one, this is the berth that we commissioned last September. And in the month of September, we commissioned. And originally this project was targeted for January. But it would be commissioned much before the target because of the strength that we have in our port or in our Tuticorin area. Because we have, as you know, that we have got an excellent work culture and 24/7 working time. And third advantage is that the quarry is located here itself. So as you know that in any project, the cost of the engineering material is not more. It is the lead that is important. If the lead is more, that means if the construction material is available at different long distance, then the cost of the project increases. But since we have the quarry in our port, and as you know that about 6 to 7 lakhs of boulders we export to Maldives every year. So that means the construction material is available here, and that is an advantage that any project that comes here, we do at a lesser cost and also a quicker time. So in the last 1 year, we have commissioned a lot of projects. This berth number 9 we have commissioned. Then we have also commissioned this berth, that is NCB3. This NCB3 they are ready, but we are not able to use because the dredging was not happening in front of NCB3. So we awarded the contract, and this dredging work is also over. And this berth is already working for the last 1 month, and already 7 to 8 vessels already we have handled, and about 0.5 million tons of cargo also we have handled through this berth so far. So in the last 6-7 months, we have commissioned berth number 9 for container traffic, container trade, and NCB3 as a deep draft berth, additional berth for the port. And also we have commissioned one link conveyor connecting the CJ1 berth to the coal yard, so that the spare capacity of one more berth can be utilized, because CJ1 is a captive berth which was serving to TTPS, and those berths were only occupied for about 50 to 60% of time. So through the link conveyor, we are utilizing the 40% additional capacity of that berth. So in the last 7 to 8 months, we have commissioned 2 berths. We have created the link conveyor. So we have created the green hydrogen plant. Then we are also going to commission the green hydrogen bunkering facility, which of course I will tell later on. So that means that here is a port where the capacity enhancement work or the work which can be done at a very fast rate. So it is an area where where we can add more capacity, and we can enhance our capacity of handle. And there are a lot of advantages which will make the place better to serve, better to handle cargo more here. So this is one more berth we are planning, which will be commissioned in another 6 months' time. Berth number 10, there is adjustment to berth number 9. So it will be a multi-purpose berth. This is the construction of offshore wind terminal that I mentioned. This also will complete in another 2 years' time. And this is the green hydrogen hub. 500 acres of our port land we have given to produce green hydrogen and green ammonia. And this green ammonia is the total 2 million metric tons of green ammonia will be produced. And the first phase of green ammonia will be produced from 2028. And as you see that this green hydrogen facility will add about 42,000 crore of investment into the port area. So there is a huge investment, and it will definitely add to our employability and other ancillary trade in our Tuticorin area. So this is the land that we have given in the port for green ammonia and green hydrogen development. And that will also give us 2 million ton of cargo. Actually, our core business is cargo. Our core business is not green hydrogen. But why they are here? Because we will get 2 million metric tons of cargo. And also they will get a port to export. That's why the green hydrogen is here and we are there, near the green hydrogen. So, and the offshore windmill that I mentioned, that this project is also being taken up by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy with a very fast track mode. And that's why they have chosen because the port is nearby. So they want terminal is to be developed in our port. And of course that terminal also will utilize for the other cargo. When the windmill cargo will not be there, that berth will be utilizing for handling other cargo also. So this is the windmill that we are handling, and this is one of the prestigious cargo that we are handling, and also adding to the green drive of not only in our country but also across the globe. And in the last year to year, there is a growth about 40% on the export of this windmill blade. And this is also one of the flagship thing I just wanted to mention, that in our port is the first port in the country which has more than 1 megawatt of solar power. First port crossing 1 megawatt of solar power in the country. And also we are producing about 6 megawatt of solar power and 2 megawatt of wind power. Total 8 megawatts of renewable energy we are producing, and we are 100% power, 100% of the power requirement is being met by RE. So our port is a port where we don't use conventional power and we use RE power, and it is 100%, and on some days we also produce more power and we give it to the grid. So that is one USP of our port. And of course we are now going to add another 6 megawatt of windmill power. So that will make us carbon neutral. Right now, in comparison to last year, this year our carbon emission per ton is 50% less because of this renewable power that we have added. The last year, and also we are saving a lot of money, about more than 1 crore of rupees money we are saving on electricity dues also. And we are planning to add 6 megawatt in another 6 months of time. And by the time we commission 4 megawatt, we will be carbon neutral. So we are targeting to make our port carbon neutral by the year end. So thereby we will be the first port to become carbon neutral by the end of this year. And we are the port. We have developed a green policy so that we adopt the green behavior among everyone, our trade, as well as our township people, as well as everyone involved and in working. So we have made a green policy. And you'll be happy to note that in the last World Environment Day on 5th June, we declared our port plastic free. So no plastic we'll use in the port complex from hence on, and thereby we became the first port to become plastic free. We're the first port in the country to become plastic free, and also we have issued a no plastic policy for implementation. And as you know that we do waste to wealth, like we do dredging and make land for use. So in the recently we have done the dredging for NCB3, and we have created 12 hectares of land. So that is a sustainable use of waste to wealth. This is a video of that one, how we do the dredging and reclaim the land. Not moving. Next slide. Yeah. So we have got a lot of green cover in our port, and we have a botanical garden. We have created an orchard, and of course this is the photo of our Honorable Union Minister who comes here and takes pride in leading the mass plantation. So we do a lot of plantation, and these plants have become big in the last 2 to 3 years' time, and now it has become the nesting ground of peacocks. So we have a lot of peacocks in our campus. So you are most welcome anytime to visit our port. Of course, we are coming every now and then. So and also we are promoting other things like tourism, like we are developing the beachfront. Also, we are going to set up a maritime museum, heritage maritime museum in the name of FIEO Chidambarnath. In fact, as you know that, as Sir was mentioning, that we have a very rich maritime history. So we want to depict that and to have an immersive experience of our own people around here, school children, who can come and see this museum. And this museum is also going to be ready very soon. Also, we are trying to do the improvement to lighthouse and to as a tourist spot. And this is the beachfront development Tuticorin plan. This maritime museum. And also we are doing a lot of things on the social media. We are giving our day-to-day things. So I'll request everyone to kindly follow the social media, and we are updating a lot of business news and other news also. So this is a small presentation about the port. So I was going through the lot of points that was being mentioned by my esteemed panelists. What I want to mention here is that both the government at the center and the state are very, very industry friendly now. So any issue is there which can facilitate the trade, the government, from the government side, we are most welcome. And that's why we have increased our engagement with the trade. So most of us are accessible on phone, WhatsApp, and even also we are meeting regularly. In fact, we have a very laid out business development plan, both for infrastructure development as well as for engaging with the trade. So recently we had a business meet at Hosur, and we have plans to have business meet at various places, Coimbatore, Tiruchur, Pollachi, and other places. And also we are not nowadays questioning the trade's suggestion. Whatever trade is asking, we are agreeing to it on the face of that without questioning as a trial measure. If not, we are not able to give in a permanent measure. At least in trial measure we are planning to give, so that unless we understand the issue that is affecting the trade, and unless we try to address that, it is not possible to improve the trade services, or maybe the service that we render, or of course at the end we are serving the community, or serving the community at large. So that will not be possible. So the trade is the one which is facing the problem at the business level, and that's why we are trying to understand the issues and try to take those things into the logical conclusion. So anywhere any issues is there, let us not wait till a conference is there to highlight. So all these issues can be resolved by coming to, with engagement. And especially from the port management side, we are very, very positive. And we are there to enhance our the cargo handling volume. We are at 41.72 million ton. So now we have added the NCB3, which is a deep additional berth. So, and also our container terminal is there, berth number 9. So, and also berth number 7 is there, which we can utilize. Then berth number 10 we are constructing. We have got 81 million tons of capacity, and we are handling now 41.72 million tons. So we are operating at 50% capacity. So now we can handle additional cargo for that purpose, and we are a port which is operating at the lowest operating ratio. So we can go to any extent to get cargo. That's why I have requested my trade friends that you bring vessel, and we can go to any extent to bring vessel to our port, because we have capacity. 41.72 million ton I am handling, and we can handle 80 million tons. So for that purpose, to bring cargo any extent, any facilitation, anything that is required, we can go to that extent. So that is one thing. And of course, I am very much thankful to India Seatrade and the FIEO for organizing this event. So I have been requesting that this type of event should be more in numbers. So at least in Tuticorin trade, I will request that we should hold this type of meeting. We request dignitaries from outsides, so that also we can have exchange of ideas. And we have to make Tuticorin a pioneer in every field, because the port is there, and this port is a port of future. As rightly mentioned by our hostess, that this port has been identified as to be in the green corridor. The first two ports has been identified, that is Dindal and Tuticorin, to be on the green corridor of the country. So this is termed as the port of future because we have the green hydrogen hub. We are the first port to produce green hydrogen. We are the first port to declare the plastic free. We are the first port to construct the green methanol bunkering, which of course by December will commission. We are now trying to generate, we are thinking of a pilot plant to generate green methanol from the waste, solid waste. That also another 6-7 months we will try to commission. We are trying to have the solid waste management on e-way, smart and e-way. We are planning to have the solid waste management through use of all electric vehicles and by smart documentation of the waste so that no waste is left untouched. So that kind of solid waste management thing also we are thinking. So we are working on the smart way and the green way, and also we are trying to enhance the cargo volume. So we are trying to work in all fronts. So for that purpose, we have to all work unitedly with common ambition. This port is the port for the trade. It is not port for the port management. So unless this port comes with the help of the trade, there is no, the existence of will be questioned. So we are always very welcoming to any kind of suggestions, and if we can handle more cargo, any kind of suggestion if we get constructive suggestion, we'll definitely try to implement forthwith without delay. So that is what. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shri Susanta Kumar Purohit, for your words and for being present here and accepting our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we come to the end of the inaugural session. It is words by such dignitaries who can make change, who are capable of making change at the top in policies that make such forums meaningful and effective. So thank you so much, gentlemen, and Ms. Iswarya, for joining us. It's a great pleasure. And while we wrap up the inaugural session, I'd like to invite Mohandas sir forward to present a memento as a token of our appreciation and gratitude to the rest of the panelists. Mohandas sir, may I request you to please step forward. As I call out the name, may I request the panelists to please step forward and receive the memento on behalf of India Seatrade and FIEO for joining us today. First, I'd like to invite Dr. Rajesh Kumar forward. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a loud round of applause for joining us today and for sharing your insights with us. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Iswarya Sankaralingam forward. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, may I request you to please step forward to receive the memento? Thank you for joining us, ma'am, and for sharing your thoughts with us. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Vikas Nair to kindly step forward and receive the memento. Thank you so much, Mr. Nair, for joining us and for sharing your insights with us. I'd like to next invite Mr. Dr. Kodeeswaran forward to receive the memento. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Kodeeswaran. And next I'd like to invite Mr. S. Sankar Marimuthu to receive the memento from Mohandas sir. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a loud round of applause. Thank you for joining us. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Susanta Kumar Purohit, IRSEE Chairperson, VOC Port Authority, our chief guest for the day. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, a big round of applause. That was the inaugural session of the Global Freight Forum Tuticorin 2025.